Cara DeFalco.
And I'm Lisa Marie Falvo. So there is so much happening with the New Jersey Morning Show. First, we have social media pages. That's right. I love it. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll keep you updated on who is going to be on the show. Be sure to check us out and click follow. Later, we're going to be talking about our brand new studio, which is coming together so beautifully, Cara. I can't wait for you to see it.
I can't wait. Gerald was showing me pictures earlier. I cannot wait to see it. I can't wait to have it because I had a wild morning in my house today as well, and I wasn't sure that either of us was going to make this show. So the broadcasting from home definitely is getting old. So I cannot wait for our new studio. But first, let's get to the part that everybody really wants to know about. We'll start with our weather and meteorologist, Mike Favetta.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. You know, we've got a really pretty day ahead, especially after a couple of showers last night and earlier this week. The humidity and the heat will slowly creep their way back into our weather picture here across New Jersey, and that really begins this weekend. So as we start our day here across the Garden State, temperatures right now climbing through the 70s on our way into the upper 80s by this afternoon. It'll be a very warm finish to the day, no matter where you find yourself across New Jersey. Today, 88 over toward Trenton, 85 in Howell, 86 in Lacey Township, even toward the beaches. It'll feel quite warm. Water temperatures are warming as well. We've got your beach report coming up in just a bit to show you just how warm it gets along the Jersey Shore tomorrow and Sunday. Speaking of the weekend, your weekend forecast town by town has temperatures back up at 90 degrees in the big cities. Coming close to that in Morristown, 88 on Sunday, 90 in Newark. And even through most of next week, we'll have these temperatures that range anywhere from the mid to upper 80s, even approaching 90 most days. We've got all those details coming up on the 7-day forecast. Let you know which days next week also feature some rain. That coming up in just a few minutes.
Mike, thanks so much.
Parents have been waiting all summer to find out if the school year will be a repeat of last. Right now, unfortunately, it looks like it may be. According to NJ.com, Governor Murphy will announce this morning that students K through 12 must wear masks in school in the fall. You can see the announcement live right here on NJ On Air and on NJOnAir.com. Governor Murphy got all fired up when a group of anti-mask and anti-lockdown protesters showed up at an event in Union City. Listen to this.
These folks back there have lost their mind. You've lost your minds. You are the ultimate knuckleheads, and because of what you are saying and standing for, people are losing their life. People are losing their life, and you have to know that. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror.
Wow. According to the CDC, the Delta variant continues to spread, mainly among unvaccinated individuals. And Cara, I think knuckleheads is the new get the hell off the beach. If you remember,
I think it might be. I think it might be. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll have to see if we can create as many memes with that as we did with get the hell off the beach. But it's going to be pretty good. But we're seeing it all over, Lisa. You know, more stores are also asking people to put their masks back on. Stores in New Jersey, like Wegmans, Acme, and Wawa, all requiring their employees to wear masks at all times while they're indoors, regardless of their vaccination status. So again, it's really just, unfortunately, it's coming back, and you know, we're all got to deal with it again.
Yeah. And you know, it's scary. I know quite a few people who were just diagnosed with COVID. But wow. I mean, no one that I've seen, but you know, people, you know, friends and family. Yeah. But it's crazy because some were vaccinated and some were not. So there is no, I think that's what makes it even crazier this time around. There's no rhyme or reason as to what's going on.
Well, and I saw recently something was saying that the J&J vaccine is like 60 some odd % effective after about 6 months. The Pfizer one drops down to like 80 something. The Moderna one, though, they're still saying is like 92, 93% effective after an extended period of time. So I think there's, that's going to start to come into play as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of being vaccinated, earlier this week, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio announced that New York will require proof of vaccination to enter restaurants, fitness centers, and indoor entertainment venues. Could New Jersey be next? So this goes right back to it. Can you ask for someone's medical history?
In my opinion, it's just a very, very slippery slope. Like if you start that precedent, what comes after that?
What comes after it? And there I would agree. Yeah, it's really, unfortunately, which I think kind of brings you back to the mask thing where it's like, well, then, you got to wear the mask until we get everything under control here.
Yeah. But there's just so many differing opinions all across the board. And I think people are just tired of it. But it's not going away. Clearly it's not. It's mutating.
Clearly it's not going away.
Another form. So we all need to work together to do something. Right.
And I think that's always been our problem. We all have the same end goal, but we have very different ways of getting there.
Exactly.
So, we'll see.
We got to all do what we need to do for the greater good in this situation.
Absolutely.
So GOP gubernatorial candidate Jack Ciattarelli has chosen former state senator Diane Allen to be his running mate. NJ On Air's Gerald D'Ambra joins us live for a look at what this means for the race for governor. Gerald, it looks like it's Jack and Diane.
Yeah, hey, do you guys know who sang the song?
No.
Come on, Kara, no? I had to look it up.
I was going to say,
we all know it, right?
It's John Bon Jovi or Bruce Springsteen. It's one of the Jersey guys, isn't it?
No.
I got it wrong.
No.
John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yes, you got it. I don't think he uses Cougar anymore. That was more of the 80s things. I think he's John Mellencamp now. But
I think for that song, he was John Cougar Mellencamp, wasn't he?
Yes. But you guys can imagine that song's going to get really old really fast with campaign staffers. But, hey, look, they have some branding going on right now. So Jack Ciattarelli announced that his running mate on Wednesdays, Diane Allen, they made the announcement in her home county of Burlington. Allen is a former state senator, longtime TV news anchor in Philadelphia. She's known as a moderate Republican, well-liked by Republicans and Democrats when she was in the state Senate. Ciattarelli is drawing on her experience and the fact that she's well-known in South Jersey. He's a North Jersey guy. Yes, the name Diane also helps the ticket. So you're going to see Jack and Diane signs everywhere.
This ticket, Jack and Diane, is going to give the people of New Jersey exactly what it is they truly deserve: a highly competitive race for governor, a spirited debate on the issues that matter, and a compelling choice for a different kind of future for New Jersey. That's what the next 3 months in this election is all about.
Jack knew that I was retired. He knew that Sam and I had plans for this retirement. And so when he called so recently, this is not something that was in the works. I want to be clear with you. So recently, Sam and I looked at each other and thought about all those things that I just enumerated that were going wrong. And Sam said, you got to do this. And here I am.
Yeah, and Sam, Diane's schedule is going to get busy. She was a news anchor back in the 70s and 70s through the 90s in Philly. She was on KYW, WCAU. She was well known when she filed an Equal Employment Opportunity Commission complaint. She was removed as a news anchor at the 11 p.m. news anchor in favor of someone younger. And this is something that, Kara, I know you and I have probably both seen in our careers. We've seen where people have been replaced and you kind of have to kind of go, Well, you know what? That actually sparked a law that Phil Murphy signed to aimed at reducing the disparity based on gender. So it's kind of interesting to see, everybody knows each other in politics, Republican, Democrat, and now, hey, they had good relationships years ago. Now they're opponents. So it's be really interesting to see what happens here. But polls have shown that Murphy has a lead over Ciattarelli, but no Democrat has won re-election in 4 decades. Brendan Byrne was the last guy. Laura talks about that all the time. Laura Jones, host of NJ Politics. And, it's going to be interesting to see if he can break kind of, I guess, the re-election curse.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Gerald.
Thanks, guys.
So speaking of governors, Governor Murphy joined several other Northeast governors, all Democrats, in calling for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to resign. Their statement says, quote, "We are appalled at the findings of the independent investigation by the New York Attorney General. Governor Cuomo should resign from office." Cuomo is facing mounting pressure to resign, including from President Joe Biden and other one-time Democratic allies, after an investigation found he sexually harassed nearly a dozen women and worked to retaliate against one of his accusers. Cuomo issued a video response to the investigation.
First, I want you to know directly from me that I never touched anyone inappropriately or made inappropriate sexual advances. I am 63 years old. I've lived my entire adult life in public view. That is just not who I am, and that's not who I have ever been.
Governor Murphy joined Governors Ned Lamont of Connecticut, Dan McCray of Rhode Island, and Tom Wolf of Pennsylvania in calling for Cuomo to resign. So this has been a huge story this year, Lisa. And, I think we all kind of knew it, and now there it is. So see what he does.
Yeah, I mean, as of now, it looks like he's digging his heels in and he is resisting all those calls. We're both Italian Americans. So when he, kind of based his touchy-feely personality on his culture, I know a lot of Italian Americans took offense to that.
Yeah, I could see it. And at the same time, I mean, I've in my personal life, I have experienced like bringing friends to meet my family, and they'll kind of look at me, we are an affectionate group. Or even meeting someone and going to hug them because that's my nature. And that's what was how I was raised, that, that's how you greet somebody. So, and I've had actually people back away from me. I'm so sorry. I forget that other people don't do that sometimes.
Yeah.
So on that vein, I could see it. And at the same time, I can see it being like, it's not an excuse either to make somebody uncomfortable. If anybody's ever uncomfortable around me or my family, we always say, that's fine. We understand, we're just crazy.
No, but, it was interesting because I watched it live, when he gave, when the news broke and I watched the whole thing. So it was funny that he used the same format that he kind of did for the coronavirus press conferences that he was so applauded for. He showed pictures of him being touchy-feely with President Bill Clinton and down the line, to just show that he's an equal opportunity hugger, I guess. But to show this is just who I am and, don't take offense. But, I don't know if he stuck the landing, so to speak, with that.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see. I mean, if he resigns, that is going to cause a ripple effect beyond comprehension.
Absolutely. But, at the same time, it's, there's something to be said about somebody who has those accusations against them and wants to remain in the public eye, if they're, I don't know.
Well, we got to stay tuned.
Okay, stay tuned. We'll certainly keep everybody updated.
The world of politics never takes a day off, right?
Oh, it is a full-on three-ring circus all day, every day.
Wow. Poor Laura Jones, and she's got to keep up with it.
She could be a busy girl, when she gets back.
Yes. So next, we're talking New York Giants football. That's my kind of speed. Yours too. Yes. With WFAN's Paul Dottino. We'll be right back.
2020 felt like a dark tunnel. And while 2020 is over, the impact is not. The pandemic affected both our physical and mental health.
We started the Cody Fund for Mental Health to change lives. So we want you to know about NJ211.
It's a referral service for anyone in crisis, even children.
I am living proof that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
And it's not a train, it's help. It's NJ211.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Well, the 20th anniversary, I can't believe it's the 20th anniversary. The 20th anniversary of September 11th is approaching, and there is a bipartisan push in Congress to get more answers for the families of the victims. Yesterday, Senator Bob Menendez announced the September 11th Transparency Act. Family members of 9/11 victims came out to support the bill, which seeks to declassify more documents held by the CIA and the FBI.
This bill would direct and require the Director of National Intelligence, the Attorney General, and the Director of the CIA to conduct a timely review of all the relevant documents and declassify them as appropriate. And if the agencies do not declassify a document or record, they will be required to provide Congress with a justification for that decision.
Many of the bill's supporters say they believe the information in these documents will show direct ties between the hijackers and the government of Saudi Arabia. So, interesting.
Very, very sad. You know, I'm surprised that this information wasn't unearthed years prior, that it's been, 20 years before these families can get those, because they need all the closure that they can get.
They can, and at the same, if that's what it points to, and we took the action that we took, I don't know, does that help anybody?
True.
Anyways, Lise, let's bring in meteorologist Mike Favetta. We got a check of your New Jersey weather.
Good morning, everyone. We've got a really pretty day ahead with lots of sunshine forecasts, not just for Friday, but also for tomorrow and Sunday. With weather that looks great throughout the weekend, it will be an awesome weekend to hit up the beaches now that it's the first full weekend in August. Really feeling that August heat and humidity return, as summer kind of took a vacation this past week. Wasn't necessarily all that hot or humid. Felt quite nice, especially with those pretty skies with some pretty sunsets earlier this week. Now going forward into this weekend with the beach cast looking picture perfect out toward Cape May, Atlantic City. All these temperatures, even towards Seaside and Belmar, hovering in the low 80s with a little bit of extra cloud cover tomorrow. I think Sunday brings back more sunshine with highs that climb a degree or two warmer. 83 toward Cape May on Sunday and 83 down by Atlantic City. With the water temperatures holding in the low 70s, it'll feel very nice, but obviously a great day to enjoy the sun, not just today and tomorrow, but even going into next week. With the sun angle starting to get a little bit lower in the sky, we're also shortening our daylight hours, losing about 1 to 2 minutes per day, and furthermore, we've already surpassed our high temperatures that we typically see peak during the beginning of August. So now our average high temperature starts slipping back in through the mid-80s. Granted, it's going to be a great weekend to enjoy some sun with the UV nice and high, up around 8 both days this weekend. That 7-day forecast has plenty of sunshine coming in through Monday, but there is a risk of storms each day, Tuesday through Thursday, as the heat and humidity linger and that really hot weather sticks around right through the end of next week. So summer's not over yet, even though we got a little taste of fall last week with those cool mornings. Yeah, it gets hot again, and with the higher humidity through this week. We'll talk more about that with another check of your forecast coming up.
Oh man, here we go. Those lazy, hazy days of summer. Thanks, Mike.
So New Jersey has 2 residents who are now also gold medalists. On the same day, Cindy McLaughlin of Dunellen and, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Ating Mu of Trenton won their track events in Tokyo. McLaughlin won the women's 400-meter hurdles, breaking her own world record. Mu won the women's 800-meter. Congratulations to them both. I don't know if you've been into the Olympics, Kara, but I've watched every single day.
I haven't watched every day, but I did happen to catch both of those races, and I think Mu's, first of all, she's like a gazelle. She was like an Amazon. She was 8 inches taller than all of her competitors. And just watching her legs, God was like, it's literally superhuman. It was incredible to watch. And then Sydney was, at least, again, compared to the other people on the track with her, little tiny peanut of a thing. And she's leaping those hurdles. It was incredible. They were both, I was in awe to watch both of them.
You know what was great, though? I guess NBC, for some reason, really played up the fact that she's from Trenton.
Yeah.
So, you just kept hearing Trenton, New Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey. when she was being interviewed, she was talking about how Trenton, New Jersey, and New Jersey in general has the best food, bagels, pizza, and they were all, laughing about that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really cool nod to the Garden State in Tokyo.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They were, it was really something to see, something to hear. And of course, Jersey girls were always all proud of each other and of our home.
Exactly. Well, there's another Jersey girl competing for the Olympics, and this one's a little more well-known. Bruce Springsteen's daughter, Jessica Springsteen, while she did not qualify for the equestrian individual jumping finals in the Tokyo Olympics, her teammates didn't either. They will return to competition this weekend for the team jumping Saturday at 6 a.m. Jessica, obviously, is the daughter of Bruce Springsteen and Patty Scialfa. She is ranked 14th in the world in show jumping. So we're definitely rooting for her to bring home the gold.
Absolutely.
And Kara, if you didn't guess from Mike Favetta's forecast a few minutes ago, fall, that F word, is around the corner. But so is New York Giants football. Training camp is underway, and there were some serious fireworks this week. I spoke with WFAN's Paul Dottino about what's happening with Big Blue.
Joining me here this morning is Paul Dottino, Giants beat reporter. Paul, how are you?
Great to talk to you again, Lisa. Everything is well. Thank you. Hope the same for you.
Well, there has been a lot of news out of Giants camp. Let's first talk about the brawl that is on everyone's minds. What happened?
Well, I don't even consider it a brawl. It was more like some shoving and then a pile of bodies, like they would be going after a fumble, like a rugby scrum, if you will. It really wasn't a brawl because I didn't see anybody kicking anybody or any punches being thrown. Nobody, threw a ball at anybody. I think it was a bit overstated, but look at the world that we live in. We know things are overstated and exaggerated all the time. What I can tell you is it was certainly a piece of undisciplined play that Joe Judge needed to address, and he did by forcing the entire team to run laps, do push-ups, run laps again, and do a second set of push-ups. Trust me when I tell you, he got their attention because undisciplined play, no matter how minor or major it may be, will cause you to draw a penalty in a game, could get you thrown out of a game, and quite honestly, even on your own practice field, could wind up getting one of your guys hurt. And you and I both know, Lisa, getting one of your own guys hurt is the last thing that the coach wants to see.
I know Giants fans, they love the grittiness of Daniel Jones, but they all breathed a nice sigh of relief when they realized that he emerged from that pile okay, because it would have been a bigger, different story if that wasn't going to be the case.
Well, had he gotten hurt, there would not have been a case of over-exaggeration. Getting your star quarterback injured in a case such as that would have been a legitimately big, big story. It did not happen, and the Giants moved on from it.
Yeah. Sterling Shepard, I just saw a few hours ago, was saying if you don't like Joe Judge's attitude or way of coaching, you can leave. Do you think there's a lot of players on the team that are becoming resistant to his old school style?
No, I don't think so, Lisa. I think most of the players, if not all of them, are very happy with Joe Judge's style because they understand the intent. I always told people that one of the best things you can do if you're going to, set a foundation or set a set of rules to somebody is to explain why they are in place. And if they understand what it is, the ends justify the means. And I think you can remember when Tom Coughlin was with the Giants, you were on the radio crew at that point as well as you are now. And you remember Tom Coughlin, after those first couple of years when he was rough around the edges, he became much more friendly because he would explain to the players, look, this is why I do this. And once they understand that, they're willing to buy in because you and I both know teams want to win. It's fun to win. It's not fun to lose.
And unfortunately, there's been some losing around Big Blue over the
past. Too much.
But I think it's going to turn around. So on that note, what have you seen so far out of camp? What are some of the highlights in your opinion?
Well, to this point, there have only been a couple of full padded practices. There'll be a couple of more now during this weekend stretch. And then on the 14th of the month, they will play the Jets in the preseason opener at MetLife Stadium. That's when we'll get a really good bite or a good taste of what this Giants team is. What I can tell you to this point, we have seen a disciplined team that is following the rules, and they're following their coach. They had their little fracas the other day. It was nipped in the bud. There hasn't been a problem since. Daniel Jones, for the most part, has thrown the ball very well. The guys who have come in from out of town, like Kenny Golladay, the former receiver from the Lions, is as good as advertised, although he's nursing a bit of a tweaked hammy right now. This is a guy who goes up and attacks the football and makes catches. Very, very impressive individual. The rookies that they brought in, very, very impressive. They passed the eye test to this point. Azeez Ojulari, the number 2 pick and pass rusher, looks like he's going to be a big part of their third down package, getting after the quarterback. And quite honestly, Kadarius Toney, their first round draft pick out of Florida, he's a wide receiver with incredible quicks, great moves, great jukes, yards after the catch. Do I dare say almost Odell Beckham-like? That's how much, electricity this guy has when he's running his routes and catching the football. So these guys are passing the eye test. But Lisa, I have to stress to you, there has been to this point very little hitting, very little real football. And for that reason, you have to temper your enthusiasm some. But I think the initial returns, what we can see, have been positive.
So my last question, and unfortunately, it's the topic that won't go away, COVID-19. As of now, MetLife will be at full capacity this season. Do you foresee that changing?
There's no way to tell. Lisa, I would be lying to you if I told you that my crystal ball was able to identify how this season will play out. What I do know is this. The National Football League went to great extremes last year to make sure that they played every game. And they were able to do it all the way through the Super Bowl. I believe that their intention, as well as the Players Association, is probably ramped up 5 times as much as it was last year to make sure that every game is played. Now, under what conditions? I'd be a fool to tell you that I know, because I just don't. Everything about this pandemic and the protocols has been completely unpredictable.
Yeah.
But do I think the league and the players will ratchet down whatever they have to ratchet down to get these games on? Yes, that much I can tell you.
But as a reporter, you still can't do your job pre-COVID-19. It's still limited, correct?
My job is definitely limited. There's no question about it. In terms of locker room access, in terms of the close association with the players and the coaches, with the opportunity to truly make road trips as they were before and have that type of connection with the organization. No, there's nothing similar in that regard. Things have really changed a lot. And to say that I could do my job as effectively as I did pre-COVID would be a lie. That's just not the case. I'm doing the best I can with the tools that I have available to me, but we all know that all these protocols are in place for safety reasons. And safety and health, good health, is paramount to everybody. I think we would all agree that those things have to come first, and the season being played has to come second, and the comfort level of the media people like you and me, well, that's way down on the list. That's not of paramount importance these days.
No, definitely not. Well, I hope to be with you on August 14th, Jets Giants.
Oh, Lisa.
Always a fun game. That's actually my favorite game to work, because it's like we all come together back to school, and especially since we haven't been together now for 2 years. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully seeing you and everybody in person.
Fingers are crossed. Trust me. So are my toes, Lisa. Hope to see you there.
Where can people find out more about everything Giants that you're covering?
Well, you could always go to Giants.com, the team's official website, and you could listen to WFAN, where I occasionally make my periodic appearances as their beat reporter, and of course on Twitter @GiantsWFAN.
All right. Well, we'll get you back on the show to talk more Giants in the coming weeks. Thanks so much, Paul.
Anytime, Lisa. Always great to see you.
Man.
Always a good time with Paul.
He's fantastic. He really is. That was great. Boy, I can't wait for football. I really do enjoy it. I'm not as deep into it as you are, at least, but there's nothing I love more than Sunday gravy in a game. So
that's it. They don't have that at MetLife Stadium.
They don't. That's why I stay home, because it's cheaper and the food's better.
Yeah.
But other than, I enjoy going to the games when I can. Absolutely. All right, guys, coming up next, a New Jersey company specializing in helping you explore cruising the Garden State. And remember to check out the New Jersey Morning Show on social media. Be sure to follow and like us. You will get all the deets of what's going on the show. We'll be right back.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Swing the hip.
Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown.
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show.
All right, Lise, listen to this one. And I know a few people who got caught up in this as well. Spirit Airlines canceled over 300 flights Wednesday morning, many of them from Atlantic City, Philadelphia, and Newark. On their website, the airline says the cancellations are due to operational changes, mainly staffing shortages. American Airlines was also having issues. They canceled 300 flights on Sunday and 563 flights on Monday, blaming many of the cancellations on severe weather. I had a friend stuck in Houston. I know somebody whose parents got stuck in New Orleans. I mean, it was wild.
Wow. And so they're blaming the cancellations on severe weather, but also staff shortages, which is a trend across a lot
of industries. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
absolutely. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. Listen, somebody who's doing pretty well here. There is a company here in New Jersey that can help you experience the amazing cuisine our state has to offer. Beyond the Plate Food Tours offers tours in different New Jersey towns, sampling incredible food along the way. Joining us now is Alessia Aaron, CEO of Beyond the Plate Food Tours. Alessia, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. So at first, tell us, I mean, I've been on a handful of food tours. How does a food tour work?
So basically, you buy a ticket online, we tell you where to meet us, and we take you to 4 or 5 restaurants in one afternoon or evening. So you get to meet the chefs, you get to meet the owners, all the food's included, select drink pairings included, so your only job is to show up and have a good time.
That's fantastic. That's my kind of afternoon for sure.
Yes. So Alessia, how did you get into this? What got you started?
So I worked corporate. So the short story is, graduated Rutgers, graduated and worked some corporate jobs, just wasn't loving it. Backpacked through South America, came back and started working in restaurants. And I got this side gig doing essentially food tours for a company based out of California. And I started building these relationships with restaurant owners. Even when I was working corporate, I traveled a lot and I took food tours wherever I went. And I realized there wasn't a huge food tour scene in New Jersey. So I was like, this is a great opportunity. And I started to network and see that there was a global community of food tour operators that I could learn from. And long story short, this is my third go essentially at the food tours. Is my third company. So Beyond the Plate has been around since 2019, but I've been doing tours for 8 years.
Wow.
So Alessia, what is an eBay food tour you've been on?
eBay food tour?
I'm just trying to see. We had a couple different things in here. Let's go back to what you're doing. So what tours are you currently offering?
So our main city is Jersey City. So our Taste of Downtown Jersey City, which is based in historic downtown. That's our hub. And then we also do tours in Red Bank and Somerville, New Jersey. Princeton's on hold for now. Right before the pandemic, I was supposed to launch in New York City, but I don't know if that's going to come back. So for now, we got the 3 cities going on. Corporate's starting to come back. So those are the cities that we're operating in now.
Hey,
That's
Jersey,
fantastic.
yeah, Jersey City. I mean, you could do a month tour with the amount of restaurants that have popped up there. So
It's
a lot
great.
of fun.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say the same thing. I was, to cater to food in New Jersey, I think it's something people wouldn't necessarily think of, but there's got to be a much bigger market there than people anticipate as well.
Yep, definitely.
So listen, Alessia, how can people learn to book a tour or visit you or get involved in any way?
So we're really active on social media at Beyond the Plate Food Tours and beyondtheplatefoodtours.com. We have our live calendar. You could book right from there, or you can send us an email about a private tour in any of those cities as well.
I was just going to ask if people can kind of curate something personal and that they can just do through you on their own.
That's what we specialize in. Definitely the private and corporate tours and events. So that's what I'm hoping will come back as well.
Awesome. Alessia, thank you so much. So once again, to learn more, to book your tour, you want to visit beyondtheplatefoodtours.com. We will also have a link for you on njonair.com. Alessia, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Bye, ladies.
Bye. Best of luck. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Vivetta on your New Jersey weather forecast.
So what's summer in New Jersey without some outdoor dining, specifically right there along the beach and boardwalk, or even in your hometown, with dining al fresco weather this evening, looking quite pleasant. Yeah, it gets quite warm again into tonight. Nevertheless, it'll be dry. That's the good news. The humidity works back in, but at least there's no rain. As far as your weather menu for this evening, Morristown checks in with 86 degrees as of 6 p.m. tonight. Air toward Hoboken and Princeton, still warm. You will find that cooler sea breeze, however, over toward Long Branch and Atlantic City, where temperatures will cool off into the upper 70s. And that's pretty on par with what you would expect the water temperatures to be. Mid to upper 70s feels quite pleasant to be out and about this evening. Air quality improving. It's at the moderate stage. So while the wildfire smoke isn't the biggest weather story as it was a few weeks ago, there is still quite somewhat unhealthy air, especially for those that are sensitive to the poor air quality. Regarding those with pulmonary issues and respiratory concerns, it's slightly unhealthy for them. Otherwise, though, I think we see an improvement in the air quality briefly before it gets worse again next week as the not only pollen increases, but the haze and humidity and that stagnant air begins to work in through next week. Speaking of pollen, we begin ragweed season. That is the predominant pollen beginning the second week of August typically. So while grasses are still present, ragweeds will be the next pollen of concern, or the allergen, going forward in through the end of summer. And of course, that 7-day forecast has the heat returning through this weekend. Highs up around 90 on Sunday with high heat and humidity and some storms each and every day beginning Tuesday.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Well, Lise, Governor Murphy signed a bill this week that extends the state's moratorium on eviction. So the state's going to spend an additional $500 million on the COVID-19 Emergency Rental Assistance Program. They're also setting aside $250 million for utility assistance.
A way forward that is fair not just to renters, but also to their landlords, the overwhelming majority of whom are good people who care deeply about those they house, but who also need economic relief.
Yeah, the bill also mandates new eviction and foreclosure moratorium deadlines for tenants who were directly impacted by the pandemic. The governor also signed a bill that makes court records on tenant non-payment confidential for the time during the public health emergency. So, we unfortunately, it's like we are still in this. People are still, they can't catch up or catch a break.
Exactly. Next, we're going to learn about the tahini company Soom Foods.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Swing the hips. Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown.
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Favetta on your New Jersey weather forecast.
One last check of that 7-day forecast. We've got a beautiful finish to the weekend. Beautiful finish to the week, nevertheless. A nice start to the weekend as well, with those highs climbing into the upper 80s. And that's what you would expect, especially as we head into the end of the first week of August. Starting off Monday with that haze and humidity, even with some storms arriving by Tuesday. Now, these are the afternoon garden variety pop-up storms that could bring a few downpours. Some could turn severe, given all of the heat, haze, and humidity. But notice the blue numbers toward the bottom of the screen. Those are the overnight lows. It gets really warm and humid toward the end of the week, with overnight temperatures back down in the upper 70s by next Friday. So some very hot nights ahead, even as we head into the middle of August and we wrap up the dog days of summer. Summer's not over yet, even as we head into the next few days. We've got another check of your forecast that's coming up.
Thank you so much, Mike. So, Kara, I know that we've teased some very exciting news. We have our social pages. We're becoming more and more legitimate.
Up and running, yes.
So you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at New Jersey Morning Show. Very exciting stuff. We will be also transitioning in person live in our Fairfield studio coming up in the next few weeks. Gerald D'Ambra, our executive producer. There's a little sneak peek. You know, the chair is different, the table, but you can
in process.
Yes, this is one of the steps in the build out. But it's just going to be really exciting. The equipment is top of the line. Other people are going to be able to film their shows out of there as well as ours. So, not only are we taking the next step, NJ On Air is taking the next step. Long Shot Productions is helping them do so. So it's just all exciting stuff. The pandemic was so hard on our industries, on our own individual careers. But, we're really taking that time and turning it into something I think very, very positive.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I'm so excited to be a part of it. I can't wait for the new studio. I know we got a lot of people excited to follow along on social media. They're getting the hang of this streaming thing. They say, where are we watching? Follow the social media pages and make sure you sign up for that follow, those notifications. You will be alerted as soon as the show goes live on Friday mornings. You can tune in also on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, online. So we're here for you. Just make sure you get along, follow those pages, and you'll see everything that we've got going on.
Yes, very, very exciting stuff. So home buyers, beware. You'll never know what you'll find in your new house. A couple who recently purchased a Pennsylvania farmhouse said they had to pay $12,000 to have, I can't even imagine this number, 450,000 bees removed from inside the walls. Kara, I promise our new studio will not have this problem.
It definitely will not.
Sarah Weaver said she and her husband bought the 1872 farmhouse in Skip Pack without conducting an inspection because they had been searching for a home in the area and wanted to move quickly when they saw the house on the market. That's skipping a very important step, clearly. The Weavers hired a general contractor and professional beekeeper to get rid of the insects in the walls. The beekeeper said he removed an estimated 450,000 bees, comprising of 3 colonies, from the walls of the home. He said the bees appear to have been living inside the house for about 35 years.
Whoa. That is, and it's, you know what? It's such, I mean, it's an incredible story for the bees alone, but the key there being that they skipped the inspection, and so many people have been buying homes sight unseen, paid in cash, well over the asking price, because they're just trying to get out of those super populated areas, out of the city, you know, coming here to the burbs, coming to Pennsylvania, and they're just, you know, snapping these properties up and not really taking, like you said, these important steps and saying, oh, by the way, you have 3 colonies of bees living in this house.
I don't know. If you buy a lemon of a home, it's harder to get out of that than it is like a marriage. It's like you really have to be
You
careful.
are stuck. You are stuck with that one.
There is no one rescuing you from that.
Definitely not. Definitely not. All right, Lise, well, we have another kind of wild story here. This is a great video captured of a woman who dropped her sunglasses into the orangutan enclosure at a zoo in Indonesia. She captured the video with her sunglasses, fell into the enclosure, and then they were donned by a fashion-forward orangutan. Look at her. This mama orangutan found the glasses, found them extremely interesting, put the sunglasses on her face, and kept the shades out of reach of her curious baby who tried to grab them. The orangutan played with the sunglasses for about 20 minutes before zookeepers were able to get her to throw them back. Unfortunately, the shades were broken. On top of this being absolutely adorable, I think it's fascinating that she knew where to put them. Like, she must have observed and saw to put the, you know what I mean? She could have put them on her arm or anything like that. So I just think animals are so much more in tune and clever and aware than we necessarily give them credit for. And that is just adorable.
You know, I got deja vu. That was me on the beach with Liana. I had my sunglasses on. She just turned 5 months, so she like knows now to grab. So it looked like me and Liana on the beach. Little girl, like
grabbing,
grabbing, not leaving her mother's side, looking for milk, probably. You know, same thing. But adorable, so adorable.
So cute. All right, Lise. Well, we have one last guest for everybody today. Do you eat tahini?
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites as well. But if you've never tried it, it's definitely worth picking up some and giving it a try. Soom Tahini is one of the most popular brands out there, and they are coming to New Jersey. Joining us now is the CEO and co-founder of Soom Foods, Amy Zittelman. Amy, good morning. How are you? I think we have Amy. Oh, we lost her connection, unfortunately.
Well,
hopefully we can get her back.
The cool thing about Soom, they're coming to New Jersey. You know, you're the expert chef here. Clearly, I am not. What do you like to make with tahini?
Okay, so you're going to kind of get wide-eyed when I tell you this. One of my favorite things to do with tahini is I actually make a tahini chocolate chip cookie. So instead of like peanut butter chocolate chip, so for anybody who does it, tahini is sesame seed paste. So it's basically a nut butter. Yeah. And it's great. It just provides like a really great balance to like the sweetness of the cookies. Similar to peanut butter. Oh, we have Amy back, so let's get her in here and say we'll let her explain.
Hold that thought.
Oh, I was gonna say we'll talk about cookies momentarily. Amy, hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. So I was briefly saying that, you know, tahini is sesame seeds paste, or it's like a nut butter. Do you have a better explanation than that as to what tahini is?
It's a fair description. Tahini is an ingredient made from 100% roasted and pressed sesame seeds. And so, yes, it's thicker than peanut butter, thinner than olive oil, thicker than olive oil, thinner than peanut butter, but can be used by both in savory and sweet recipes.
Yeah, Kara was just talking about her tahini chocolate chip cookies. So I love that. I know tahini is also a great summer food. Is it something you can use in a lot of summer recipes?
Sorry, as you can see, I got stuck in the car with a newborn at home, and so my connection is not perfect. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, listen, I have a 5-month-old, so I totally get it. Where you got to get peace and quiet wherever you can get it. Tahini, how is it used in summer recipes? I think we lost her again.
I think we lost her again. Yeah. All right. Well, so again, Amy is from Soom Tahini and soomfoods.com. So you can check them out. We'll have a link for you on njonair.com. And again, Lisa, I'll say it's actually not my recipe. I found it online, but there is it's a great thing to use. Like she was saying, both savory and sweet dishes. It's a good balance, olive oil, peanut butter, those are both really good kind of comparisons. But it's a good thing to have in the house. I keep it because it's shelf stable too. So I always keep it around, something to have it ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. Well, I hope that we can get Amy on the show next week because I'm so excited to learn about Soom and them coming to New Jersey. So we'll keep you posted on that. But Kara, that just about wraps it up here on the New Jersey Morning Show this morning.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Lisa, thank you so much once again for joining me this morning. And thanks to all of our viewers for joining us. We so appreciate it. Once again, one more time, if you haven't yet, head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Give us a follow online. The new accounts at New Jersey Morning Show or at NJ Morning Show on Twitter. And again, we're going to continue to be building this show. We're going to be moving to our studio soon. So we've got a lot of great stuff coming up, really expanding the show, expanding the brand, and bringing you all of New Jersey's headlines, weather, sports, everything chit-chattable. And Lisa and I are here for it all. So thank you guys for watching and tuning in. We hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you guys next Friday live at 9 a.m.
Thank you.